Welcome to Virtual Mimics and Gimmicks, where a bunch of idiots pretend to know what they're doing and in the process torment me with their vicious mockery. I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master and player punching bag, Anastasia. Playing Troy, our half-wood elf ranger with a taste for bear blood, is Sean. As Magnus, our dark and brooding tiefling rogue, is Clint. We've got Ryan playing Biren, our furball cleric who prefers liquid courage, and Tatiana playing as Poopers, our wily tabaxi barbarian. And finally, we have Amanda playing Eravir, our sexy high elf sorcerer with hair and heart of gold. You ready for the recap?
Tactics.
Count it down. Well. Last time on Dungeons & Dragons Ball Z, our heroes wrapped up their assignment to investigate and retrieve an artifact in the far-off lands to the west, giving them their first taste of the deserts of Arsenfell. At the border town of Exeluntur, they discovered a series of mysteries and abnormalities, from the overly optimistic attitudes of the townsfolk to inconsistencies with the passage of time. In the end, they discovered not an artifact, but an imitation artifact created by a fae and harbored by the town's healer, Desi. She trapped the fae in the artifact subdimension which the players infiltrated, and there they fought a series of mysterious, childish nightmares before taking down and capturing the fae herself. Our heroes decided not to obey Desi's request to leave the artifact with her, and instead reported it to the wardens, conveying Desi's warning that uniting it with the other artifacts would cause serious problems. Their duty fulfilled and a bony ally gained, our heroes returned to the warden home base of Redcliffe and chose to join an expedition into the Underdark, which they now await. In the meantime, they observed some competitions of Siege Ball and bet money on it randomly. Will our heroes actually leave town this session, or will they get wrapped up in shenanigans at home base? What awaits them in the Underdark? All this and more, now on Dungeons & Dragons Ball Z.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will start our session right now. You had 3 weeks of downtime in your home base / headquarters of Redcliffe, where you had access to all kinds of resources, jobs, and the like. Some of you took advantage and made some money. Others of you had some interesting conversations. So we'll be starting 3 nights before you are scheduled to meet up with the kind of leader of this expedition into the Underdark, meaning you have a little bit of time left in Redcliffe to do what you need to do.
Tactics.
Let's start in a tavern, kind of like all around the table. Maybe you guys are having a last little get-together before you set out on this mysterious quest. If there's anything you need to discuss, otherwise maybe start strategizing for whatever you want to do next. Just give you a little time together.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today during our time together?
Doing pretty well. Just not really sure about going to the Underdark.
What do you mean? How could you not want to go somewhere dark, dank, and scary?
Well, as much as I do love the dark, dank, and scary, I mean, I personally don't know a whole lot about it. Do you guys know anything about the Underdark?
No, absolutely nothing other than it's underneath and dark.
Yeah,
I guess that explains why she's not scared.
Maybe we should do some research on it before we leave.
That sounds like a really good idea. I think we should be as prepared as we can, unlike our usual selves.
We can go bother Imby. I think Imby's a dark elf, isn't he?
He is. So
we can go ask the robot elf.
So is the magic shop owner, Gil, who is friends with Ibros.
Yeah, but the magic shop owner. Who's more fun to ask?
Imby loves when we come in.
Imby loves me. He loves everything about me.
By the way, have we talked to Callie about us heading down to the Underdark yet?
That'd be a good call.
We should probably advise her that we're gonna head down there and that maybe she wants to come with us.
Yeah.
She is coming with us.
Before we gather more people into our little group here, I did hear back from my friend, and he has information. He's still working on it, but he does have some little tidbits of information for the questions we asked, if you guys are interested.
Of course.
Definitely.
Okay, let me pull up the letter here, and Poopers pulls out a fairly long letter and shifts glasses that she's not wearing.
I was just gonna ask, does Poopers have reading glasses?
All right.
I feel like he does, but there's no glasses part in there.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Aravir. Okay. He says, for all of us, he's still working on the Fae. But here's information that he gives to you. He didn't even know that one of the high priestesses, your mom, died. And he knows everything. So this is very hush-hush. Nobody knows about this. So he thinks that means that it was an inside job.
I had a feeling as such. Things are not right in my family.
Let's see here. Moving on. Okay, Magnus, the Crows. He says he doesn't know quite about your situation, but he says a little civil war never hurt anyone. End quote.
Okay.
If you want to deal with your uncle, he says you can't do it alone.
Right. Well, little civil war is gonna cause a lot of civilian death.
And Barry, for you, he says he's been to the forest both before and after, and says that the after sure smells a whole lot like the Fae does.
Bum, bum, bum. Well, that is news to me. Hopefully we hear more from him.
Yeah, we're on good terms, we talk back and forth now. It's kind of nice hearing back from somebody that I've been writing to for years.
Isn't this one of the first times he ever responded in the last couple of years?
It is the second time that he has responded in the past 2 weeks.
Well, I guess that's better consistency. Can we anticipate some kind of timetable? This is good news.
He doesn't really work on timetables. He more works on when he's ready. So I can't really force anything out of him. He just kind of gives me what he wants me to know, and then that's it.
So all you gotta do is retrieve him a false artifact, and then you have his attention.
He did say he wanted more information on artifacts, and I bet if we give him more information, he'll give us more information. That's just an inkling, though.
Did he write anything about the Fae? I know he said he was working on it, but did he write anything?
Not a whole lot. Here's what he says. As I expected, this Fae has been troublesome but helpful so far. Let's hope for her sake that she stays that way. End quote.
Okay.
Yep, so he's working on it. I'm sure we'll get more eventually. All right. Well, now that I'm done with my news, does anybody else have interesting news?
Well, I tried to commune with Saloon again, and ever since we went into the Fae world, I'm having my communication's kind of jumbled and troubled, so hopefully I can work on it and repair it with her being out now. But I'm definitely not gonna go back into any Fae worlds or strange places for a while, so I can establish my connection with
But
her.
what happens if
Except
something
for
really
the
important's going on?
I mean, I could reach her, it's not the same.
All right, well, it's good. Anybody else? Talk to anybody cool? Do anything fun?
Well, it actually just so happens that my good friend Alabo was actually in a bar a couple nights ago. And
he was in a bar here and you didn't tell me?
Just chilling?
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, where was our invites to the bar?
It was a very low key kind of get together.
At a bar, low key.
Low key.
Mm-hmm.
They usually are.
Revelers, low key. He actually kind of called me out a little bit on the whole Beerens Day thing. So next time we do a crazy rager and kind of turn the town into a drink fest, we may want to do a little bit of a shout out.
Got it.
Or I could be, I could be the idol. That'd be fine with that.
So the reason he was in town was he saw that we were dealing with the artifacts, and it seems like some of his friends, aka other gods, are planning on taking a hiatus from the material realm, plane, realm, I forget which one it is, and they're doing that because they don't have a whole lot of faith in us. they think that if the blight happens, everyone's toast. The other thing that's going on is apparently they're having a harder time figuring it out upstairs. They're kind of as confused as us, but apparently there's someone else that's trying to get the artifacts. So there's that. And they may already have some.
Wait,
You think
on
it's
somebody
Avi?
else? Yeah, I think it might be Avi.
It could be.
Why? Oh, so why are the gods scared? Right? Doesn't it just kill the material plane and it doesn't hurt them, right?
So the problem is the artifacts apparently really mess up gods as well.
Because it gets rid of their followers, or?
Apparently it affects them just as negatively as it does mortals.
I mean, it only almost killed us a little bit.
Sort of,
Can't be
kind
that
of. a bit.
dangerous.
I mean, we got, what, 1.5 already?
Yeah, we're doing good.
We're not that drunk.
So, we're going to the Underdark because we think there's another one there? Question mark?
Yeah, can we get a recap on the Underdark quest?
There are no solid leads on other artifacts right now, besides the 2.5 that the wardens have collected. So, this is a thing to do in your free time between artifact retrievals.
Just to go explore and hang out?
So the Underdark quest is specifically an expedition to chart it out, as well as look for any rare materials or really anything you can find down there, because it's known to have a lot of interesting stuff.
If we have a few Dark Elves from the Underdark in the Wardens, wouldn't it already be kind of charted, or is this like a more mysterious Underdark area
The
or something?
Underdark is not small. It occupies pretty much the entire world. It is a not unending but very, very large series of chambers, caverns, and caves that just stretch all throughout the underground. It is the origin of the Drow, and Drow tend to not leave, and those that do come to the surface usually have a good reason to.
Okay, well, I really think we need to go talk to some of our Drow friends here.
Heck yes, I want to
Get a
go
little-
visit Imby.
Yeah, get maybe a little breakdown of, I don't know, etiquette or things to not bring up down there.
For context, Drow are not exceedingly common. I would put them on probably the same standard as tieflings. But it's not surprising that there's a kind of like denser collection of them in the wardens, because the wardens are a well-known thing that they might flock to. Because, if they come to the surface, they usually are like probably pretty competent.
Right.
So we're gonna be
would we
dealing with a
know-
bunch of dum-dums down there.
Well, would we know that, like, anything about the Drow before we go down there? As far as, do they only come, like the dwarves? They only leave their cavern if they get, kicked out, or there's big bad problems or something like that. Is that similar to the Drow?
So the common knowledge is of dwarves, you pretty much had it right. They leave only with a really good reason to, or if they're expelled. Drow, none of you would have a particularly profound understanding of them, but the Underdark is a pretty scary, dark place, and the lifestyle may not appeal to some of them, which is more why they would leave, as a means to escape danger or in a kind of oppression, almost. But so like with dwarves, it's like the individual choosing to leave because of their opinion of the society, or the society has rejected them, whereas with Drow, it's more of an escape.
Okay.
Kieran can relate.
Right. Okay. Well, I think we should go talk to Imby.
Oh, I know just where to find him. In his dark cellar underneath the ground. Let's go get him.
Hell yeah.
All right, so you guys make
Follow
To,
you.
Kick
to
down the
Imbies? To Imbies?
To Imby's.
Imby's.
Imby!
it done?
Yeah.
Yes, it's done.
You guys make your way over to the magic district and go underground to the cellar of the encyclopedic drow. Have all of you talked to him at this point? Or met with him personally?
I think we met with him as a group, right?
I think we've all been down here for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know if we've all done one-on-ones, but
I don't
Not
think
one-on-one
I've
with
done
group.
a one-on-one, but I've been with the group.
So to remind you, he is a drow with long black hair and very plain purple robes, and his left eye is completely like dark purple. His other eye is normal. So he's at his desk when you enter. Doesn't seem to acknowledge your presence.
From the stairs behind a closed door, you hear Imbi, and it gets closer and closer, and suddenly the door bursts open and Poofers rolls in. Hello, Imbi.
He is writing on his desk and looks up at you and says, "Hello, Warden Poofers. How may I assist you today?"
Boy, I brought the whole gang here. We have some questions for you.
Well, it is my job to answer you. What do you need to know?
I don't know, where do we want to start, guys?
Hey, MB, we're gonna be headed down to apparently the Underdark because we're the warden's favorites, I guess. And we really don't know a lot about it. We're wondering if you could, I don't know, give us any information or anything that would be really helpful before our trek.
Regale us with tales of your homeland, Imbi.
Certainly.
Let's have some Underdark life hacks, please.
And you see the dark purple eye gets 3 lighter, kind of like palish pink dots that like juggle, like in an iMessage kind of deal, where like someone's typing or whatever. And he says, "Useful information." As those 3 dots dissipate, he says, "You clarified yourselves as the warden's favorite. It seems you misunderstand. This expedition has tens of wardens joining it. That should clarify some things.
Oh, we going as a group.
As to information on the Underdark, I do originate from there, though from a northeastern sector, which is very far from here, so I'm uncertain of what exactly you may encounter. However, the Underdark shares common characteristics, namely, it is dark. The creatures down there typically do not have any light perception, any form of light perception, as well as most of them have a profound power of cursing or other sorts of debilitating.
Like saying bad
effects.
words.
No, as in petrification,
The not fun cursing.
mind
Got it.
control, the similar. Some of the most famous occupants are mind flayers, beholders.
Oh, we've dealt with the beholder before.
Right.
Fine.
that'll
We
be
beheld it.
fine.
It only had 20 eyes.
Only took us 3 hours of combat. It's fine.
He just glares at you, or doesn't glare, just looks at you blankly.
You have any fond memories of the Underdark, Imbi?
No.
You have any unfond memories?
No.
You have any memories at all?
So
That
this
should
is
cover
going
the whole realm of memories.
Very few.
How are the drows feeling towards other elves, like, say, half elves and sun elves?
General dislike.
How about Tabaxi? Got a good feeling about this one, guys.
Drow are, as a rule, hostile or at least malcontent toward all surface dwellers, especially elves.
Sounds like
Hooray!
Tabaxi's are gonna be fine.
And I look
So you're
at
telling me
Avery
there's a
looks at
chance.
Troy like, awesome, we're screwed.
As a general rule, do most of drows study magic?
It's a common practice.
You got any
So-
warnings for us? Any plants we should avoid? Any like signs of scary things that we should walk the other way?
If you encounter a creature, it is very likely to be a particularly dangerous specimen, unlike anything you have faced on the surface.
But okay. But are there bugs in the Underdark?
Certainly.
Are they tasty?
There are thousands of species.
Oh, there's a good chance we're gonna run into some tasty bugs. This quest is looking up, guys.
What
I'm
about
ready.
I'm aware in the Underdark it is dark. I got that from what you said and the name. But is there any light? Do we use torches down there? Do the drow keep any just natural light in general? Any luminescent bugs that fly through or anything like that
Glowing
add any
mushrooms.
lightning? Yeah.
Drow and other specimen are particularly sensitive to light, and as a rule, it is avoided and or non-existent. Any creation of light is likely to draw attention specifically because of the heat and abnormal conditions.
Do we all have
It
dark
provides.
vision?
Everybody and somebody has a pair of goggles.
Okay, so
But-
we will be set.
And just a heads up, you said heat. Is it very abnormally cold down there?
It is an underground series of caverns. It's not particularly warm.
We should probably go get some warmer clothes.
I think we're already in warm clothes, actually. From our last
Oh.
quest. Remember, we
Yeah,
got, like...
I think we went shopping actually.
Oh, right.
Somebody's in really ugly
Oh,
clothes
yeah.
because they were poor.
Was that me too?
too.
Yeah,
No, I
we
meant
took the scrub,
seriously ugly,
cheap outfits.
Hoopers and I got some fur-lined lining to our clothes.
And I have my ring of warmth, which is now back on my finger and no longer in my pocket.
Ambrose, do you have any advice on best means of defense if we come across hostile beings in the Underdark?
Kill it as quickly as possible. Any opportunity to counterattack may prove fatal.
I'm pretty good at that. All right.
Well, this has been very helpful, Envy. It sounds like we're going to be hated and cold, and it's going to be dark.
Sounds like a good time to me.
This is the general opinion of the Underdark.
Well, let's go talk to somebody who's not half a computer, whatever that is.
Yeah, I like your eye, by the way.
He just looks at you.
He got it from a dude he made a promise with. We should go.
Beep boop.
Dude is an inaccurate term.
Well, is it a lady?
No.
Well, then it's a dude, and Poofers walks out.
I see. Poof Airbeer says, "Bye, Ambrose. Thank you so much for your help."
He just gives you a nod and goes back to his work at the
Poofers
desk.
out.
I don't have the cognitive processing power to speak as eloquently and plainly as he would. I can't
Imagine
think of
who's
the word
real
fast
smart.
enough. So, yes. Where are you guys headed?
Go talk to the other drow in the magic shop.
That is Gil. I can't. Let me pull up his description.
Oh, sorry, where are we going? To the magic shop?
To the magic shop.
You're good.
Doo-doo-doo. Okay. Make your way over to Dreadwrath and beyond.
Oh, no.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I can't
Still
wait to look at the
funny.
Beyond stuff.
All right. So, whereas before the shop owner, a particularly short for a drow/elf individual, Gil is working. He has yellow eyes and darkish gray hair that's combed over to the side. This side is shaved, and then there's tattoos that run along his
Can we do a
scalp.
hotness roll for him?
You know what? Why don't you go ahead and roll for it, Tatiana? I feel like all elves
Bring
get
out the old D10.
I feel like all elves get a positive modifier to their hotness, though.
They
I rolled a
definitely get a
7.
+2.
Yeah. So he's a 9.
He's pretty
Total
hot but
babe.
short. So
What purpose would being attractive have served evolution in the Underdark?
I
they
feel
can
like
see
it's
in the
just-
dark, right?
They can see in the dark, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just black and white.
All right.
So he comes up and says, with a big charming smile, I think he's only taller than Poofers out of all of you.
How tall is he?
He is 5'7".
He's Airbeer's height.
He is the same height as Aravir. Okay, noted. And he kind of comes up to the flourish. He says, "Welcome, welcome back. I'm so happy to see all of you again. Do you have interest in any of my wares? I know we're a little short on supply after you more or less ransacked a lot of the items I had.
It's actually your brain that we have interest in this time.
Well, I'll have you know that one's not for sale. One time a mind flayer came up and tried to take it, like rob me, and it didn't go all that well for him. I still have it.
Not trying to rob you, just want little chunks of it. Anyway, we happen to notice that you're a drow, and usually that means you're from the Underdark. And we talked to Imby, but it didn't have a whole lot of information for us. And we're just wondering if you have any cool little tidbits about your homeland.
Information.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, he's not one for conversation or regalings of the past and all sorts of fun conversations. I mean, I can tell you my experience there. It's dark.
Yes.
It's cold, and everything there wants to kill you.
We have
feel
heard
like
this
we found
before.
I specifically come from the kind of southern reaches of the caverns below. They said long ago that it used to be united under a larger kingdom, but for the last few hundred years, as far as I can tell, it's been kind of split up more into tribes. Now, I don't know how much you know about Drow, but we are a typically matriarchal society. And
Oh, yeah, you are.
so, us men are treated a little poorly, but that's just one reason to come up here.
Probably only poorly treated once in a while.
Well, no, it's actually kind of a constant oppression sort of deal, but, it's in the past. Besides that, Drow really likes spiders. There's kind of an intense fervor, a religious...
Also really like spiders.
They are disgusting, and I never want to see one again. There's a sort of intense religious fervor in our worship of Lolth, goddess of spiders in the Underdark. And you might say that you might compare Drow to sort of cultists.
Uh-huh. Have you ever licked one of these spiders? And if so, how did it taste?
You are very odd.
I have been told.
Any other questions?
Take that as a no.
Yeah,
No.
why did we not choose the nice tropical bird island quest?
I don't know. That sounds like the obvious choice to me.
Damn it.
I'm just saying.
Or go to the glorious kingdom of the dwarves and all their shiny shit underneath, whatever.
Who chose this?
We chose this.
Chose
path.
this. We
Booper.
voted on this.
Why? We voted.
So, who
I feel like I'm an
tribes
expert
now?
on the Underdark already. It's
Are
dark,
there-
it's scary, it's deadly.
They hate elves. Like, I'm kind of really rethinking this.
Well, I
But
don't
I'm getting
hate you
a
if it
feeling they
makes
have a
difference.
soft spot for tabaxi. Just a vibe.
Well, we don't get a lot of
Yeah, on their menu.
Yeah, see, he knows where I was going. There's not a lot of nice game down there.
They don't do trade or anything with the overlight.
Probably fur trading, maybe.
Overlights. Fur
No,
trading and
it's-
carcass.
Pretty uncommon for you to see any sort of interaction between the inhabitants of the Underdark and the Overworld. That said, there is a small town I hear where the expedition's going that tolerates the wardens at least.
So you know about the expedition already.
Yeah, it's the talk of the town. They go every few months. Sometimes they bring back some goods for me to identify, and sometimes I get to keep them.
Do you want any goods? We can bring you back some goods. Ooh, I should ask Imby if he wants. Hey, Imby, come in.
Ambrose reporting.
You want any goods from the Underdark?
There's just silence.
No goods for
What
Imby.
is-
Got it.
What's his favorite Underdark meal?
I mean, I was more specifically referring to, the rayon, the rare herbs and mushrooms, the rare monster parts, all of that kind of fun stuff. Lost treasure, that kind of...
How
Cool shit.
how many people? Because this is the first kind of we're hearing about it. How many people usually return on these parties?
I don't know. I'm not a warden. I don't get the numbers. I just know you're going.
It's probably most, right? Because I feel like if it wasn't most, they'd stop going eventually.
I feel like if everybody died, where would the stories come from?
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Right?
You know, if you're down there and you find any like lost journals of people who went exploring and died, I am interested in those. I'm kind of like, I've got a collection and he like points behind him and there's a bookshelf with like 20 journals on it.
Noted. Get it? Noted.
That's a good one.
All right. Any particular creature that is common down there that we should make sure to avoid besides all of them?
Let's look at my list.
Where should I begin?
There's a great array of interesting creatures down there, but I'd say the most common and probably the ones you have to worry least about are things like were-rats.
Wait.
The rats?
Hold on. Were-rats?
Yes.
What the heck is that? That sounds terrifying. I don't know if I want to do this quest anymore, guys. We might just go to the bird place. That sounds more fun.
So,
There's
Who wants to
So
So let's just go to the bird place.
Switch.
To the bird place.
Was that the first thing she said, or he said not to worry about were were-rats?
yes.
I worry about rats deeply.
How about this? What is other than poofers, for the rest of us, what is the thing that we need to avoid the most down there that comes into the village and everybody panics and runs?
Oh, well, there's more than just one, let me tell you.
Oh, God.
The beholders are uncommon, but they do have their lairs down there. You don't want to find one in its lair. We just mark that area off limits. There's been talk of the mind flayers. They eat brains. That one's fun. Don't get pinned by them, or it will eat your brain. And you can't come back from that. Other than that,
Concerned about the were-rats. I'm just gonna bring that up.
I'm just saying brains.
So
there's
did
lots
I?
of
I'm more
stealthy
concerned of the thing
creatures.
gonna eat my brain or take my brain.
Yeah, they're fun. They got like a lot of tentacles, and they like pull it out through your nose. So it's how I
Just like
lost.
the mummy.
It's how I lost my friend Carl back.
So did I mention I joined a local sports ball team and we've got like practice for the next
Yeah. You know, drinking beer and betting on sports ball sounds pretty good.
Going to tropical birdland.
Maybe go
Cool
steal
dwarf
some gold
kingdom.
from dwarf stuff.
Voted on this.
God.
whose idea was this?
Apparently, a majority passed. So
We're
Can we
we're
change
getting
our
hazard
vote?
pay for this, right? We get hazard pay to go down there.
Probably.
I feel like if
Like
we run
probably.
into a hazard, we're gonna die.
Right.
I guess
Well-
that the
we're
fun
gonna run
part
into a hazard,
is
and then we're gonna pay.
you know exactly how much they value your life in gold.
Damn it.
Ah,
Oh, good.
could you tell me more about the were-rats?
Yeah, so they're not all that tough. They're just kind of. Have you heard of the like the dread rats that are like?
I don't want to
big?
hear anymore. And Poofers walks out of the shop.
One last question.
Sure.
Do they turn you into were people after that?
I don't think so. Let me check though.
Oh, God.
Well, she's
Yes,
checking.
do we turn into were-rats?
Yes, that is my question.
I
No, it's
I go
not like a
outside.
lycanthropy curse.
Okay.
Werewolves are more fun. I personally have seen many people become lycanthropes, and it is an inconvenience once a month.
That sounds like fun.
Does the Underdark have werewolves?
No, not that I know
Awesome.
of. It does have a lot of like dog things though. Yeah, some of them have two heads. My first pet
Dog
was
things.
a two-headed dog.
Named Fluffy?
He got eaten by my neighbors.
Other two-headed dog?
Three-headed dog.
It's a four-headed
No one
dog
ever
now.
suspects the three-headed dog.
So, anything else you guys need? I mean, this has been so fun recalling all these wonderful memories of the horrors of my childhood, but
I have no idea
well,
why you
I
left.
think that's.
I'm convinced.
I think we're good. Thank you. What's the person's name? Does anyone remember? Does he remember?
We will
Good day.
hopefully
Good-
be
good
back
day,
to spend
and
more
I
money
give
once
him
we're
5
back
gold.
from the Underdark.
good day, Biren. It's nice seeing you again.
All right,
It
see you
was a
later.
great
I
time.
remember the name, but I'm outside.
I give him 10 gold.
Okay,
I think it was Gil.
it was Gil.
Yep.
Sorry, Gil. I go outside and
Say that in front of him. I think it was Gil, guys.
That was-
I go over to Poopers and I'm like, don't worry, Poopers. I'll talk to the were-rats and maybe they'll be
They're
cool.
were-rats. How do you know they're gonna listen to you? They're not normal rats.
We'll try.
Don't think the werewolves listened to you when we were dealing with them.
I'm sad no one got bitten.
It'll be okay.
Would that have been a permanent thing?
Maybe there's cures, but it would have been an interesting turn.
Would have been an inconvenience once a month.
Maybe once a month.
All right.
I feel like I know where they got the inspiration for that, inconvenience once a month.
Do we want to play Siege Ball, or what do we want to do?
Cyrus.
I mean, this is gonna be our last time out in the sun. Did we want to get a little bit of vitamin D before we went into the Underdark?
This is gonna be our last time drawing breath. What should we do?
Play a game we've never played before. What an experience. Let's go play Siege Ball.
Can we swing by the pet shop real quick?
Yeah.
I don't know if that lady wants to be in there again.
Maybe Poopers waits outside.
Yeah.
You
Pooper
can
should
stay
wait
outside.
Okay.
So we make our way over to the pet shop, which is in Low City. And you recall from your last visit here where, let's just say some feathers were ruffled. There's a gnomish woman in her kind of like early to mid years. She has like messy blonde hair, kind of haphazardly pulled into a bun, and she wears a like light blue dress and an apron. And she's like cleaning some of the cages when you walk in.
Hoovers has her face plastered to the glass.
I walk in and hello, good
Oh
afternoon.
my god! Oh, you're back! Where is it?
Where's what?
The thing that I
You
don't
just hear.
She's
she-
licking the window.
She screams, which I'm not going to do because it'll disturb the neighborhood, and dives behind one of the kind of like counters in there, and she says, "Oh my god, please! It took 2 weeks to clean everything up last time. So many birds died. So many."
It's okay. She's waiting outside as I like lean over the counter.
Deal with it.
I just wanted to get a little pet real quick before we left town.
Are you gonna? Is it like? You gonna feed it to her or something?
No. I just wanted to grab a spider. We're going to the Underdark, and I thought it would just be nice.
All right. Do you have a specific type in mind? We have like tarantulas. We have a few venomous ones, but I'm not supposed to sell those.
Yeah, no. Nothing venomous, nothing that can bite. Just something small, not very hairy, creepy.
That
Okay.
bug is not going to last 2 seconds.
Like a spider.
Just letting you know.
Yeah, do you have any spiders?
So she kind of goes over to the bug section of the store, and is like the whole way like wringing her hands nervously, looking over her shoulder constantly, kind of trying to take cover wherever she can, and pulls off one of the shelves a small glass box with a handle on it and like some air holes in it. There's like a few twigs in there and stuff, and she holds out a little box with a tarantula in it, and she says, "This lady, you have to feed her 3 times a day, at least 6 crickets." And she pulls out another like little bag of like live crickets, and she says, is this what you want?"
No, that one seems a little like hairy and high maintenance. I was kind of thinking like something smaller, like Daddy Longlegsy, and like would eat on its own.
Well, we don't sell spiders smaller than 3 inches, because they're kind of everywhere.
Oh, well,
Hang on. And Biren reaches up into the ceiling and just kind of like got one right here. Dude, can I get a bag for this?
She, like, pulls out a plastic bag and says, here?
Well, okay.
And she's, like, 2 feet tall, and she's like, here?
Do you have like a little, I don't know, a little breathing cage? Like just a smaller one of the one for the cricket eater.
I mean, that thing is only like an inch big.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Thank you for letting us use your ceiling, and I give her 3 gold.
She's, when you're in town next, can you come back and help me dust? I can't reach up there.
Yeah, that seems like an easy job.
She's okay, as long as the other one doesn't come.
how much is that bag of crickets?
Oh, this? About 20 gold.
I'll take that, and I give her 20 gold.
Okay. They are live crickets. And they are, like, chattering.
There is slobber and nose prints and just general fog of breath all over the front window.
I should have seen that one coming.
As
Yeah,
we're leaving, I say, sorry, you may need to clean the glass.
You're gonna have to peel poofers off of the glass.
Apparently, I'm giving 10 gold to everyone, and I give her another 7 gold.
She pockets it and thanks you. And begins to kind of, like, walk off, trips over something. She's obviously very clumsy, and then, like, picks herself up, dusts off, and goes back to what she was doing, waiting for the monstrosity outside to leave.
So we need to figure out how we're gonna maintain our new long-legged friend.
Yeah, what'd you get in there, guys?
Nothing at all.
You went in, you came out, what friend?
And you hear Bo chime in. Yeah, they were talking about spiders or something. It was really weird.
You bought me a snack?
Bo, we talked about this. You have to pay attention to the room.
I mean, I can only see, like, half of it at any time. You know, I don't have any neck mobility here, so I kind of rely on my ears that I don't have.
And Pooper starts rifling through everybody's pockets. Where is the spider? Where is my snack?
I think it's out of character, of course. I think it's in Barrett's hands right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, guys, where is it? You bought it for me, right?
Toss her one of the crickets.
Arville pulls out the bag of crickets and lets Poofers have 3 and says, you can have more later.
Okay, appreciated, and yet not an arachnid.
Who said anything about spiders?
You did, actually.
From my height, everything seems like
It's okay. It's
they have
okay.
long
I can
legs.
wait till you all go to sleep. It's fine.
Yeah, there were a lot on the rafters up in there.
The only thing purchased in that store was crickets.
Yeah, they wanted to buy a spider, but it was too hairy.
You got some hairy spiders in
You
there.
couldn't just do it for me, could ya?
I think we caused enough harm to that pet store.
The hair
spider
adds
for that ring.
texture. Excellent mouthfeel.
I'll trade you this whole bag of crickets for your warmth ring.
No, this is my warmth ring. Crickets are not worth it.
That's my warm ring.
No, it's mine.
I'm gonna get that back.
All right, let's go play some Siege Ball. I'll find that spider later.
So it is evening. The next game will be held tomorrow. Would you like to all get a good night's rest?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. In the morning, you head over to the Siege Ball courts. And you see, as usual, there's kind of a crowd. One team has taken the field and they're looking for another team. It's a 5-person game, which is exactly enough.
Oh, we need a team name. Shit. What are we gonna name ourselves?
The Underdark Dominators.
The
Yeah, that
Sports Ball
sounds good.
6.
Siege Ball 6. There you go. Sports
Isn't it
ball
5
6?
players?
The Undertakers.
No, I was the Underminer
The Underminer, that's
for
right.
my WWE debut.
Shall I remind you all of the rules?
Please.
Probably.
Okay. So, you will be the red team. You start in the same kind of order if you want to drag your tokens onto there. So this game is played between 2 teams of 5 players, and there is a heavy rubber ball in the middle. Everyone is given a bat that's going to be doing 1d4 plus your strength damage. If you have negative strength, it is just 1d4. You don't subtract it. So, every time the ball is hit, it is given an amount of momentum points. Let me resize this for you really quick. It's given a number of momentum points that will determine how far it can move. And so, like, if you hit it straight on for 3 damage, it's going to move 3 squares or 15 feet straight. If it collides with the wall, it'll bounce off at the proper angle, approximately. Forgiving my geometry skills. If it is going to collide with a character, if you have a reaction, you can hit the ball. So you have to make an attack roll, with the AC being a factor of the ball's current momentum points. And if you hit it, you can basically send the ball in the direction with new momentum points. If you miss, am I having you make a save? If you miss, the ball will attack you. If you're hit, you take a pretty negligible amount of damage, but still some, and are stunned. The ball will lose some of its momentum points. Otherwise, if it misses you, it'll just keep going. The goal of the game is to take down these towers, which each have 25 hit points. So if the ball collides with a tower, it's going to do the amount of damage equal to its current momentum points.
So we're not allowed to magic this at all.
So, magic, and really any dirty play or magic other than just running up and hitting it is, like anything else, is pretty widely frowned upon because we think it's not fair play kind of deal. Like, this is supposed to be just a purely athletic event for fun. However, I will say, if you are sneaky enough and you can do something like subtly cast a spell, and no one notices, you can cheat, but if you're discovered, people are going to be pretty upset, and your reputation will suffer amongst the wardens. So, we will need initiative order, please. Roll for me. +20? You muted.
Sound
20
right.
plus?
21, sorry. I don't have the window active.
Okay. 15 to 20?
19.
15?
Ten to 15?
12.
13.
Okay. This actually ended up being a pretty good spread between the teams. So, if you guys are ready, game start. Wah. Top of the order is Troy.
Okay. So I'm rolling for an attack.
You have to get to it first.
Run!
Okay.
It's like
Go
dodgeball.
try.
Get to the ball first.
Okay. I'm running to it.
Go ahead
Wait,
with
is
the
it-
token.
You gotta move your guy.
You move
Okay.
6 squares.
Can I unmute my thing because I can't have this window open and
Yes.
talk and
Yeah.
do it at the same time?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright. Maybe I should not have been the one who go first. So I can move 6 squares, you said?
Mhm.
All right.
Every square is 5 feet, and your movement is 30 feet. You can also dash as your action to get there, all the way there, but you won't be able to attack it. There's no multi-attack or anything, by the way, right now. It's just like you making one hit at it. So,
Well, I get there.
you're there. Cool.
I'm there.
It is now the other team's turn. Gets about that far. Poofers.
Alright, Poofers is gonna use. Oh, she might not even need to. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, she doesn't need to. So she's going to hit the ball. I'm gonna draw. Hold on. Did you see the ruler?
I did. I'm not sure that the. That's about right. Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll, please.
16.
Okay, so. The ball is gaining 8 momentum points, and you're hitting it like this way, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it travels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't quite. He can make an attack of opportunity at this, so he will. Oh, and he misses. So this ball continues past him. That was 5, 6, 7, 8. And it ends right there. The other players get to go. He's going to turn and move this way. And try and hit it back towards Poofers. Which he does. How did you do 8 damage to this? Oh no, sorry. Never mind. I totally misread that. Okay, well he only hits it 2, so it moves over here. It's now Eravir's turn.
Okay, let's see. Let's see, she's going to move.
You can't hold on to the ball, right?
No, wait. So, Tatiana, how much did you roll your damage for?
I didn't roll any damage. You didn't say I had to.
Oh, that fucked up. It doesn't matter. This is my first time playing too. Attacking the ball. Yeah,
Right
whatever.
here, like 6.
Okay. Try and keep yourselves within a square so we know exactly where you are. Just FYI.
Is it not in the square?
It's kind of in between right now.
There we go. Yeah, I'll dash for another 6 then.
Okay.
See.
We are playing some offense.
Right here.
All right. This character is going to move over here and hit it. Try to hit it straight at Eravir. Which he does. With 5 momentum points attached to it. So Eravir, this ball comes flying towards you. Would you like to try and hit it, or dodge out of the way, or what do you want to do?
Hit it.
Okay, can you make an attack roll for me?
Is it just regular straight number, not
It's
plus?
going to be a d20 plus your proficiency plus your strength.
Okay. Mod 20.
Okay. Which direction are you going to hit it?
Back towards.
Remember, the objective is we want to hit the pole, so
Yeah.
you can use your angle to try and get through there.
Let's see. So I'm guessing kind of like through the people over here. Towards the wall, so maybe it'll like bounce off the wall and come back at it.
You're muted. Anastasia is muted.
Sorry, I need a D4 for the damage.
You said a D4, right? I don't get to add anything.
No.
2.
Okay. So the ball kind of like rolls right over here before coming to a stop. At
Sorry,
which
guys.
point
I think everybody's unarmed strike is a D4. Set
Yeah.
mine.
it is. It's plus 2 strength, but I think Aravir has negative strength, so we're just doing plus 0.
Mwah, mwah.
It's now this one's turn. And they're gonna come around their teammate to hit it toward Poofers. Which they do. As the ball 1, 2, 3, 4 comes to a halt right there. Magnus, it's your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna move. Let's see. 2, 5, 6. Be right there. Six. And then I will bonus action dash. If we're going diagonal, does that still count as 1 square?
We're just doing straight 5s right now. Usually it counts as 7 feet, but that's too much work.
1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna go right in front.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna use my action to hit the ball.
Alright, so a d20 plus proficiency plus strength.
14.
Okay, that hits. And then a d4 plus strength for damage. Unless you're negative.
3.
Alright, and
And-
you're hitting it which
And I'm gonna hit it. I'm actually gonna try to hit it up,
Okay,
like diagonal up, follow the arrow.
so it rolls to a stop right there. Bjorn, your turn. Okay, can you go ahead and roll a sleight of hand for me? Alright, people seem pretty caught up in the game right now. No one is like paying attention to your kind of like slight little like.
What was the modifier you gave?
Alright, anything else you want to do?
I'm gonna move up. Let's see here. I'm gonna move up 30 feet, but I'm gonna be kind of playing the back, kind of, so that if the ball gets past us, it doesn't get out of range and hit our pole very nonchalantly.
Sounds good. It's now the other team's turn. 20, 30. He gets right there, and we'll try and hit it straight forward. He actually misses somehow. This other character is going to move back here to defend. Back to Troy.
Okay. I am going to move. I don't have to be directly in front of it to hit it, right? If I move to.
You have to be in an adjacent square.
Right here?
Yep.
Is that okay? Okay, I'm gonna move here, and then I'm gonna attempt to hit it against the wall, and then ricochet back the other way, like
So-
around that player.
Okay, so like a triangle.
Just exactly. Yep. Exactly.
So,
Okay, and sorry, I'm really dumb. Bear with me. So it's a D20 plus my proficiency, and then plus the strength modifier, right?
yes, and then Viren gave you an additional D4.
So you roll a d4 and a d20, and then plus those two modifiers.
Holy moly. Okay, sweet. All right.
Yeah, I'm gaming the system. Question. I see that there's a red and a blue area. Are we not allowed in the blue area?
No, you can't go in. It's just kind of like meant to mark the team's territories.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I'm just seeing, like, we can kick it, like, 10 feet. So how do we need to get
There
close.
are different like rules to this game depending on the region you're playing in. So like some will require at least one player to always be in their team zone and stuff like that. But
Okay,
here's
Soccer.
so
We're not a soccer family, so I'm not
it
worried.
was a 25.
yeah. So then roll a d4 plus your strength modifier.
All right. 4.
Okay. So this moves 1, 2 is gonna collide with this character who will try and hit it. They do, so they're gonna change the direction.
Did it not ricochet off the wall?
It went around him, but the blue player over here can take a
got it.
reaction to hit.
Got it.
So it's gonna end up right over there. When it rolls to a stop. Poofers.
What is that white thing on their side? Is that anything I need to worry about?
That's a character.
It's the Hulk.
Oh, it's a person.
It's an orc.
Okay.
It's a person.
You racist.
All right. What do I want to do here? So, question: if it goes right to somebody and their reaction misses, does it go through them?
It will collide with them, stun them, and roll past them.
Okay. Then
Can friendlies use reactions? Like if I hit it to somebody, can they use a reaction as well?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you only get one reaction around though, so.
Okay. Poofers is going to charge up to the ball, and she's going to slide kick it like a professional soccer player. Straight forward. I rolled a 23 to hit, and
God.
it's 9 damage.
What is. How?
My strength is +6.
How's your strength? It can only be +5.
Never mind, sorry, it's +3. So it's.
I was like, what the shit?
Jesus.
Well, technically, I have unarmed strikes, so actually, it could be that high. Actually, it should be 9 because it's an additional 3.
So we're
'Cause
just
I'm
doing a
tabaxi.
1d. Well, you're using a weapon though.
My
can
claw's
drop your
really a
weapon.
weapon?
No, like you are using a paddle to hit the ball.
Oh, we're using a paddle. Okay. Never mind. So 6.
And you're doing straight forward?
Yeah.
So it is on track to collide with this player who is going to try and change the direction. Misses. So he is stunned.
Haha.
What do you see if I do
Sportsmanship,
this?
poofers. Wait.
I see
what?
nothing.
Do you see anything changed about anything?
Nah, nothing's
Nope.
changed yet.
How annoying. Okay. And it is in the same square as him right now, is where it rolls to a stop.
And I move up.
Okay. This character is going to attempt to come around here and hit it through poofers.
Better try.
I have rolled so many sub 5s, it's not even funny. So they miss. They're a little too intimidated by your just torrential run through this arena, like screaming bloody murder.
How did you know? I didn't even describe it.
I know you. Aravir, it's your turn. Actually, they are going to step in front of them at the end of their turn.
Can I reach it? I'm gonna go kick it. Or hit it.
Which direction are you gonna hit it?
Hit it straight through that person if you're confident. You
Let's
bounce
hit it
off a
straight
wall.
through that person. Give it a shot.
Right?
Let's see. Let's remove it. Okay. Let's see here. Do I need to minus my strength since it's -1?
No. We're just doing +0.
Then 23.
Yeah, okay, and then roll a d4.
3.
Alright, so as you hit it at them, they're gonna try and block it with their reaction.
Well, one of them is stunned.
Yeah, only the back player is. Another 2, so it goes right through them and they're also stunned. 1, 2, 3, so it collides with the tower, but it has 0 momentum, so it does 0 damage. It rolls to a stop right before the tower. It's like a few inches away. This is...
Everyone's like, I tried, guys.
That was a close one.
It was very close. Good job. Just gotta get over there to smack it.
And they are going to try and hit it straight up. Yeah! I hit something! 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Magnus.
Muted.
Alright, move 6 squares up. I'm going to bonus action dash. 1, 2, 3.
Smack it!
Right here. And then I'm going to smack the crap out of this thing.
Alright. Roll the hit.
That is a 12.
Yeah, that hits, yeah.
Yeah. Or 5.
Nice. Are you hitting it just straight down?
I'm shooting for the goal here.
Okay. So that will do 1 damage to the tower. Bow,
One.
bow.
Bow, bow, bow.
As it hits it and stops moving. And I'll put it right here because it's the kind of angle you came at. Biren.
Okay. So the ball's there, huh? I'm gonna get Troy's attention. I'm gonna tell him to, like, keep moving forward, keep going forward, and I'm gonna keep shifting up because we're gonna try and keep pinning down the ball.
Do you want to dash or anything?
No. I'm just gonna move up an additional 30 feet.
Alright, go ahead with your character. So, we have 2 enemies going. 2, 3. Can make it there. But not quite with a useful angle of attack. So they're gonna just ready themselves.
While this is all going down too,
Oh.
I'm just kind of sitting here with a hand on my hip, and I'm also drinking at the same time.
All right. This orc over here is stunned, so he cannot act. Troy, it's your turn.
All right. So with my bonus action dash, how many? I can do 6 and then another.
6, so 12 total.
Okay. And
You
they can
can
do.
bonus action dash?
I think that's
No,
just your
only
action, bud.
rogues.
Oh.
You have to use your full action to dash.
Oh. Okay. And I can go diagonally per square.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 6. So a total of 12.
Yes.
But then I can't attack, right? Because that's my action.
Yes.
Okay, 2, 3, 6, 7,
I yell at
Alright.
Troy. Move behind it.
I'm actually gonna just position myself right here.
No.
All right.
Other way.
Other way.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, you're fine.
And he cannot attack because he dashed. Poofers. Good luck out of the ball.
Okay. So that golem guy's stunned, right?
He is now active again. He just a wasted turn.
Okay. Hold on.
God, he's
If
an
I-
orc.
if I-
Oh my god.
If I run by them, do they get a reaction on or a attack of opportunity on me on any way?
No, not unless I want to play dirty.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there.
Okay.
Okay, and what I would like to do as I scurry around all these people, I'm going to take a big old golf ball swing at that thing with my paddle and
All right.
hopefully pin it at the tower.
Okay. This character is going to try and stop that too.
Okay, that's a nat 20.
All right. I will give him disadvantage on blocking it because you got a nat 20. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fine.
Which it did cause him to miss it. So can you roll the d4 plus strength for me?
5.
All right. With that, that's all it took. This tower already was down 1 HP.
Wow, the other team sucked.
Just point blank. It's really hard to run 5 characters.
I don't think
at
they
once.
sucked. I think we're just really, really good at this game.
So
Clearly,
yeah,
we should go pro. Is there a pro
Right?
league?
I say we
that-
practice and we skip the Underdark. And we just practice this
We
game.
just stay
That'd
here.
be
Maybe they have
fun.
somebody bringing us drinks. Like,
Right?
it's like Top Golf in Vegas.
Drinks.
Just hang out.
so the tower crumbles and the crowd goes wild. Woo! As you guys are declared victors of this match.
Woo!
Hey.
Yay, sports.
Hoovers
Go
gets on top
team.
of Barry's shoulders and goes, "Yeah!"
Woo!
Oh, how hyped is the guy? How many people are watching? Is this a real popular game?
It's kind of like the current trend in Redcliffe. Like people are like, it's like when you get a new tetherball court at elementary school and suddenly everyone wants to play tetherball. It's like that.
Got it.
So people are like doing it as like a fun, like little harmless game to pass the time. So it's kind of becoming like a local competition kind of deal.
I just yell, "We're at the Sports Ball 6. We'll be here until tomorrow."
All right. So you guys exit the field victorious. Should have bet on yourselves. And
Damn.
Totally
Bet
forgot
against
about that.
ourselves.
Forgot about
Throw
that.
that.
do you guys want to do anything else today, or just wait until the meeting for your expedition?
We should probably stop by Callie and see if
Just
she
wait
wants
until
to
our
go.
impending doom.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
after that victory, I feel like I could take on a whole pack of were-rats.
I don't want to talk about that. That's going to be a problem for me.
We'll just use our sports ball tactics when we go down there. Hey guys, flying V.
That's right. Can we keep these paddles and just, wear
Rat
Beat
rats
the
battles.
crap out of some rats.
For thwacking somewhere rats.
It's practice.
It's
I'm
like
just
Charlie
saying.
from Always Sunny.
Exactly.
My rat basher.
We're doing Charlie work in the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys going over to the potion shop?
Yeah, let's go talk to
Yeah.
Callie.
Elixirium. Callie's there just hanging out. There's a new character you guys haven't met here. So Neosi's out of town. He's back in Exeter at his own shop.
Yep.
But Callie has hired a teenage-ish, like late teenage, human man.
Over 18?
He's probably 18 or 19.
She's gonna ask for a hot
No,
check.
I need to know. I need to also see valid ID so that I can
know.
roll for the hotness check.
It's 18 or 19. He's
Okay, he's
You're not
18 or
quite
19,
there, right,
that's fine.
Poopers?
Hotness
So you're
check.
fine.
Troopers is 16.
That's right.
That's another 7.
all right. He's pretty average.
Damn,
looking.
hot town.
So,
7 is average? We got
Okay,
high
he's-
standards here, I see.
like slightly above average.
We're not
Wow.
going up the
Teenage.
rating
Eyebrow.
scale. 70 is not a C.
Okay. He's a. Okay, the reason I say average is because I literally wrote he's plain looking in the description. So, he's a plain looking human with kind of like messy curly brown hair, clearly in need of a haircut, and large round glasses that are pretty reflective. And they're kind of like always falling off his face. He's wearing a very casual outfit of just like plain slacks and a long sleeve button down t-shirt.
He's got that
is-
nerd hotness going.
Yeah, he's got nerd hotness going. That's a great way to describe it. And essentially what he's doing is Callie is sitting there like with her leaning up against one of the counters, like with her head in her hand, and she's like, Neil, I need this really unfamiliar ingredient. And he's like, oh, sure, right away. And he like sprints across one of the shelves and starts looking, and then she looks up bored and she's like, actually it was it was that other one. But it's actually across town, so you're gonna have to go down to the shop and get it for me. And he's like, oh yeah, right away, and sprints towards the door where he almost runs into. And he's like, oh, sorry, gotta go. And he like tries to weave his way through you, trips over himself a little bit, falls on the ground outside, and then picks himself up, brushes himself off, and starts sprinting down the street. And Callie's just sitting there like with like a mischievous grin on her face as you guys come in, and she's like, wow, haven't seen you guys in a while.
What up, Callie? We just
How's
won
it
some sports
going?
ball.
Oh, some sports ball. You mean that like new thing down the street that they've
Yeah,
been
it was
playing?
a lot of fun. But we're here to ask you if you want to go on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the Underdark.
With
No,
us.
There are rats
Tomorrow.
and the
I'm-
spiders.
I'm good on that one actually.
But we really want you to go.
I mean, if you need me, but like
We
you're
need
gonna
you.
have to
We need you.
you're gonna have to make this like you have to like work for me here a little bit, you know, like why do you need me? Like
Well, Callie,
why am I the one who has to go down there?
because 1, you look really bored. 2, there's
You're
going to
our
be a lot of really cool stuff you're going to be able to get down there. Because I know
I-
you're lacking
Think
in
of all the
potions
potions.
and very rare.
mushrooms,
and
mosses, lichen.
You get down there. I mean, when's the last time you had a beholder eye? And
See, These are all really good reasons, but not the one I'm looking for.
Because we
Because
love you
you're
and
We
you're
awesome.
a
need you
favorite.
to help us.
Oh, that's right. Just bring it in, like a little bit more. Come on, just a little
You're
bit of
gorgeous.
like extra. Thank
They
you.
miss you down
oh,
there.
I know. Oh well. I don't know about that, but I appreciate the gorgeous part. I will take that. I mean, since clearly you will die down there without me, of course I will bless you with my companionship. I know
I'm
it's
so
just
glad we
impossible.
forced you to sell your shop and uproot your
Abandon my
life.
livelihood and just come here and sit all day bullying and intern.
Clearly, it's working out.
What do you think of him, by the way? His name is Neil.
He's got that nerdy hotness going.
I thought so too. That's why I hired him. There were a lot of really qualified
How
applicants.
old is Callie?
She's like 25-ish in human years. She's like, yeah, but like it's like cute to have like this, or sorry, not cute. It's like nice to have this cute youthfulness around the shop and make him do whatever I want, like run across town for an ingredient I don't need.
What's he gonna do without you when you're in the Underdark?
Hopefully not burn the shop down.
You should call Nyosi to come take over while you're gone. And then I can say
Probably.
hi to him when we get back. If
Nah.
we get back. If we're not
Uh,
were rats. at that
Despite
time.
his looks, Neil's he's kind of smart. He knows the basics. Plus, I've already prepared most of the potions people ask for, so all he has to do is not fuck up the orders.
trusting in the intern.
Yeah. But it's fun. Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
So anyway,
Nice.
we leave tomorrow, and yeah.
All right. I mean, what? That's it?
I mean,
That's it.
you have agreed. We have, given you our proposal. We don't really have a goal down there other than to explore. So yeah,
Isn't
that's it.
Not die.
Isn't there like an assembly tonight or something?
Is there an assembly tonight, guys?
There sure is.
There's definitely an assembly tonight that we totally knew about and are prepared to go.
Yep.
One that I
Definitely, let's go.
told you about.
Yes.
We were
Also-
on our way.
Before we head down there, Callie, do you know about this area in the Underdark at all?
No,
Super.
I've never been.
Ever?
Mm-mm.
Never, ever?
Bullshit
You
check.
think that all drow come from the Underdark? That's a little
Yes.
racist.
We
I
don't
mean-
generalize here, Magnus.
Well,
Some of us can be born on the surface, like, just like hatch from eggs down there and crawl up.
born on the underlight or overlight? What are we calling this?
The
The
overlight.
world? Overlight. I like overlight.
Can I roll a bullshit check on Callie if she's from
Yeah.
there or not?
Don't
Yes.
ask questions you don't want the answer to, son.
19.
All right. She does not seem to be lying about not being from the Underdark, but as she's speaking, she kind of you're like, oh, so you've been in the Underdark, and she's like, no, and her eyes kind of shift a little bit. But there's not a lack of sincerity in her saying she hasn't been there.
You don't look very nervous about going back to the Underdark, Callie.
I've never been there.
Do you know
I mean-
anything about it?
I know that there's lots of valuable potion ingredients, but usually I have other people go die for them. However, maybe I can do a better job getting what I need because usually they die before coming back. So,
Right.
Well, there's 6 of us. We'll probably be fine. A few of us get our brains eaten. Well,
hearing
live to
about
see
that.
another day.
It'll be about the same as before.
What's the worst that could happen, right?
Right.
All right, so
Right.
assembly that we definitely knew about, and we're definitely not going to go to a tavern and skip.
All right.
Let's go to the assembly.
To
So-
the assembly.
Tavern. Oh, wait.
Later that
Assembly.
night, around 7 at night, so you have a little bit left in the day if you needed to do something.
So which one are we going to?
The
The
assembly.
assembly.
To the assembly.
I feel like Poofers and Airveer show up at the assembly and we're like, wait, where's Barry?
I am not giving them any of these primo tips on how not to die in the dark.
I feel like we'd be at the tavern going, weren't we supposed to do something?
I don't
Not
know.
all of you have
Oh.
to go.
We haven't
We-
had dinner yet. That was the problem.
To dinner!
You know what this
Dinner.
feels like? Do you guys ever in elementary school have those assemblies where you'd sell stuff and you'd get different rewards for it? I kind of feel like they're gonna.
Yeah.
Hey, if you
Selling
guys
wrapping
bring
paper.
back this,
We're gonna get this tiny little plushie for going into the Underdark
We're
and
gonna
coming
have
back.
the money tornado or whatever.
I
that-
should
Yes,
start a badge
yes.
system.
Yeah.
$20 whole dollars in that.
Is
If
the
you
gold
sell
tornado
if
gonna
you sell
hurt?
$2,000 worth of wrapping paper, you can go to get $20 in this tornado.
I should start a
Yeah.
Cub Scouts badge system. You get an Underdark badge.
Oh, Poofers would collect all those.
Okay. You have to help someone cross the street without hurting them.
Oh god.
Oh, that one's gonna take a while.
Okay. So you guys,
there were no survivors.
is anyone actually not going to the assembly? You don't have to go. If you feel like it's not in character for you to go, you don't have to.
I feel like Airveer and Poofers would definitely go together.
Yeah, I'm
but
going.
Both the guys showing up. I feel like they'd be like, "What's the notes later?"
All right.
Baron would
Troy-
probably
Troy's gonna go.
stand
Yeah,
in
Troy
the
would
back drinking.
Okay.
I'd be standing
Troy's gonna
there.
go try to learn as much as he can.
Yeah. Me and Magnus are drinking in the back of the auditorium.
Just making comments in the back.
This is a mid-sized kind of like assembly hall. There are a number of chairs, probably about 100 in total. Not all of them are full. The room is probably like 60 to 70% full. And as you guys kind of all gather up, take your seats and or stand in the back, you're looking around the room, and a lot of the wardens here who are coming. Callie's not with you. She's not permitted to enter this chamber because there might be confidential information, but she is allowed to accompany you, just as a note. A lot of the people here seem really like excited. This could be an opportunity to prove themselves. These are like things you're hearing whispers of. It could be an opportunity to prove themselves. They are looking to gain combat experience. They want to find grand treasures, make great discoveries, make a name for themselves.
Somebody wants a glorious death. It's gonna be great.
And then you start hearing whispers of, do you think she's really leading this? Or is this actually like, are we going to get to meet her? I want her autograph, this kind of stuff. And you hear several names mentioned. You hear Sif, you hear Wolf of the Abyss, you hear Abyss Walker Artoria, and kind of several variations of those names. And about 20 minutes after you guys arrive and are kind of eavesdropping on these conversations, the hall goes silent as one of the doors near the kind of front of the room opens, and onto the stage walks a gnomish woman in full plate armor.
Hell yes!
That's kind of a matte charcoal texture / shade. And on the chest, it's garnished with the sigil of a dove that looks like it's made of pure pearl. Over her right shoulder and along her back, she wears a dark blue cape that bears the embroidered wolf sigil of the wardens. And there are several other people accompanying her, probably her more like trusted assistants or guards. And I just want to give you an out of character reminder. As everyone around you is kind of like awestruck by this presence. Gnomes were the enslaved race until just under a century ago. So seeing a gnome of kind of this high standing is pretty impressive. So she kind of comes up, walks up to a podium, places her hands on it, and says, "All right, welcome everyone. My name is Captain Artoria. Fen Artoria, just Captain Artoria is fine. And we're going to be heading down into the Underdark. Now, we've restricted admission on this expedition to those that have proven themselves capable of combat. That said, you are responsible for your own lives. We'll be taking as many precautions as we can to ensure everyone's safety, but in the end, it comes down to you and your own ability." So she kind of like turns to one of her assistants and whispers something at him, and he starts walking alongside the room and seems to kind of be surveying everyone in here. And she, as he reaches the back, he gives her kind of like a nod, and she says, "All right, looks like most of you are of an origin that is gifted with dark vision, or hopefully, if you aren't, you have or will be able to produce an item that will allow you to see in the dark. Because believe it or not, the Underdark is exactly that, underground and dark. So, for those unfamiliar, the Underdark is an ever-expansive series of caves and corridors that stretch all over Ethos and the world beyond. Inhabitants are all sorts of dark-dwelling creatures, and it is the infamous origin of Drow, as well as various other notorious specimen. As a rule, Drow and all these creatures are unfriendly to outsiders, which would include us. But if you come across a tribe, which I seriously doubt you will, as we're only going a few miles in, let's just stay away from them. You won't be able to take on a full city of them. Trust me.
What if I befriend them? I lean over and whisper to Erebir.
Very nice. Cheers.
Clink.
All right, so
Certainty of death? Small chance of success? What are we waiting for?
she is going over her notes as she's reading this, making sure she hits all the big bullet points.
Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
I won't go too deep into Drow history. They're matriarchal, they worship Lolth, and they're very, very religious. It's pretty rare to see any that speak anything other than Undercommon. The people that we'll see in the town, just on the borders of our expedition, a few of them speak some Broken Common. Beyond that, you probably have very little chance of communication. We'll be going
charades.
We'll be going into the Underdark a few miles below the surface, and you'll be exploring some previously unseen caverns. We'll have teams of 5 to 7 assigned sectors, but we will have a constant camp that is positioned right next to the town that's near the surface. So you'll be able to explore as far as you can and return for the night. Camping outside is kind of foolish. I don't recommend it. Any questions so far?
How do you tell if it's night?
You don't. It's always night.
So we're just camping the whole time?
You get tired, come back and rest, and then go back out.
Oh, makes sense.
All right. So that's the long and short of it. I will tell you that wardens are entitled to anything you come across. That said, as a rule, unless it's something of marked significance, you will be allowed to keep what you find. That means any rayon, gold, treasure, whatever, we generally don't care about. It's more the the relics or other interesting items of historical or cultural significance, as well as any geographical markers. Those are the things we are interested in. That's all I have for right now. Please come up and register your team with Clark, and she points to a human man also in full plate armor right next to her. And she says, that's all for tonight. We're leaving at 6 a.m. sharp. Prepare yourselves, and if you're not outside at 6 a.m., we're leaving without you. Good night. And she turns and walks off the stage and out the door.
I liked her. So, I guess 6 a.m. We should probably go
6
tell
a.m.
Callie that she's got to get up early. I don't think she likes that.
All right. I'll walk up to the human and register our team
Okay. And so you walk up to him and he says,
with full
who's...
beer, obviously.
And
Bring a
he
beer.
looks at you and says, right. Who's your team leader?
So our team leader here is Baron, Captain Baron.
In the background, you just see poofers jumping. Me!
I said
Pick
Captain
me!
Baron, and I sit there and I'm standing in front of him like he's a VIP kind of thing.
All right. So he has this notebook and
I just
he
nod.
marks down Biren, and says, can you list the members of your team?
Yeah. So our team is the Sultry 6. We have Captain Baron and myself. I'm known as Sir Magnus. We have that cat jumping in the back. You see her?
Me, Captain! Me!
Her name is Poofers, but she goes by Captain Bluebeard.
He looks wholly unentertained by this and is just waiting for you to give specific names to
I
write
just keep
down.
going.
Slowly. Really let it
next-
sink in.
Yeah. Next to Poofers over there, the really good-looking elf. I don't know if you can see her, but
Points at Troy.
pointing at Troy behind me. The really good-looking elf back there.
Well,
name is
he's
Troy.
not wrong.
His name is Troy. Also goes by the Huntress. And then we have Eravir. I don't know if you can see her. She's over by Poofers.
The average-looking elf lady back
she's
there.
over by Poofers. We call her Meh.
All right. Well, that was fine and dandy. Can you please gather them? We need their signatures here for
nice.
liability.
Yeah.
Additionally, I am required to inform you that this is your last chance to drop your names out of this expedition. And as a DM, I'm telling you, you don't have to go on this mission. There is an opportunity to drop out.
All right, I look around, and I Wardencom. Hey, Poofers, if you let everybody know, I guess we have to go on this mission.
I did. I kind
We
of
don't have a
spread it around
choice.
town like I do with all of our missions, unless they tell me not to.
I guess we're getting voluntold. We don't have a choice. We have to go. I'm like, yeah, I guess everybody's in.
All right, I'll need their signatures. And he like turns the clipboard to you to have you sign your name.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Is there an inkwell?
Yes. But
Oh,
it's like
God.
next to him on a podium. Like it's like
Well, Poofers climbs up the podium, looks him in the eye, sticks her paw on the inkwell, and smacks the paper.
great. Thanks for that.
I don't have a signature. I got a paw print.
You're an artist.
And I sign all of my work with a paw print.
All right. Do each of you in turn come up and sign your names?
Yes.
Yes.
Beer, and I assume you do too. Just need the okay. Great. With that, we'll take a break here, and you'll be leaving in the morning.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
See you guys in 10 minutes.
We'll be back.
Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. Everybody gets the chance someday. All at once at last you think you've got it made. Not a word that anyone can say that can change the way you feel. 'Cause you know that love is real. You can choose with whom you fall in love. Anybody, any moment, anywhere. 'Cause no matter who you choose, there's a chance that you might lose. Gonna try, and that's the best that I can do. Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. You can do just anything you want. You can help yourself to anything that's mine. Take it easy when there's no one else. Got to get it right this time. Gonna try to make love shine. Everybody gets the chance someday. You just take it when the moment comes along. There's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can do when you find the eyes of love are set on you. Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. Now's the moment of a lifetime, and it's here for you. Come on, baby, it's time to make a place now, everybody. Got to let us through. Got a dream to catch tonight, it might come true. Hold tight. can say that can change the way you feel. Cause you know that love is real. You can choose with whom you fall in love. Anybody, any moment, anywhere. Cause no matter who you choose, there's a chance that you might lose. Gonna try, and that's the best that I can do. Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. You can do just anything you want. You can help yourself to anything that's mine. Take it easy when there's no one else. Got to get it right this time. Gonna try to make love shine. Everybody gets the chance someday. You just take it when the moment comes along. There's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can do when you find the eyes of love are set on you. Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. Now's the moment of a lifetime, and it's here for you. Come on, baby, it's time to make a place now, everybody. Got to let us through. Got a dream to catch tonight, it might come true. Hold tight. Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. Hold tight. Hold tight. Hold tight. If you wanna make this feeling stay, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't let this moment fade away. Hold tight. Now tears gonna stay. Everybody gets the chance someday. All at once at last you think you've got it made. Not a word that anyone can say that can change the way you feel. Cause you know that love is real. You can choose with whom you fall in love. Anybody, any moment, anywhere. Cause no matter who you choose, there's a chance that you might lose. Gonna try, and that's the best that I can do. Hold tight.
Welcome back. to the game.
Oh no. Okay, so I need to adjust the cameras real quick because hang on one sec. Magnus left, so the cameras from the Zoom got all wacky. Hang on one sec.
My Magnus friend.
Let's see here. Can I make a quick adjustment? Almost got it. Good, we're good. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to change it on the other one as well, but we're good.
Okay. Where am I? Wait, alright. So, in the morning, I assume you all are responsible enough to be prepared to leave.
Good assumption. Let's go.
Erebor
Yeah.
makes sure that she goes to Poofer's room to make sure Poofers is up and ready to go, and then takes Poofers with her to go get Callie.
Alright, Callie's understandably, or rather as expected, extremely reluctant to get up. You more or less drag her out of bed. But she is packed from the night before. So she just kind of like rolls out of bed and points at a suitcase and just like lays face down on the floor for a little bit until she can gather the energy to stand up and go with you guys. You make it to the exterior of Redcliffe, where, to your surprise, there is a rather large caravan prepped, around 20 to 30 carriages, all lined up, filled with supplies and with expedition members.
And at the end, our amazing house wagon.
None as cool as ours.
Not even close.
No one else is bringing a wagon. They all seem to be using their own.
Clearly
Or
a
not their
mistake.
own. They're like the provided ones. But no one particularly protests you joining with your
Hooray!
cart, though you do get some odd looks. Everyone kind of gathers up in a huddle as the gnomish woman, Captain Artoria, speaks once again. Today we'll be heading to the Twilight Gates, which will provide us entrance to the Underdark. Once we reach the bottom of the descent, we'll find a settlement known by the locals as the Edge of the Abyss, but the town's actually called Kao. Understand that while we have a long-standing camp there and an agreement with this town, it's not a friendly place. It's dark, it's sketchy, and the inhabitants will not hesitate to rob and or kill you. Don't mess with them. Just keep things simple. Don't go in unless you absolutely have to.
Maybe we should keep the house at home.
Also know that while our camp there is guarded by wardens at all times, the inhabitants are particularly sneaky, and it is not uncommon for valuables to be misplaced. Watch what you leave lying around.
Let's
that-
leave our
Do we
house
want
at
to
home.
bring in the wagon? Not only that,
we'll
but the
go
horses
with the
as well.
provided one. Yeah, I'm not subjecting Marmalade to such a scary place now that I think about it.
Great. Let's get going then. And she mounts a full-sized horse, not a like pony or anything, and gallops off with her guard/assistants to the front of the caravan, while all of the wardens kind of board a carriage and prepare
Wardens.
to go. There you go. You did it.
Are you proud of yourself?
A little.
So this trip will take a full day. You have some opportunities to chat with each other, or maybe some other wardens if you want to strike up some
Where'd
conversation.
Magnus
Otherwise,
go?
he's with you.
Oh, he's coming. Okay. We should ask him a lot of questions right now.
No,
He's
not in the mood to
he's-
talk.
Wants to be alone. He's dark and brooding right now.
No, I don't think. Does anybody have anything to talk about, or should we just go on ahead?
I feel like the mood is kind of a somber, quiet, like
Hoover's is sweating profusely thinking about were-rats.
Well, the wardens are actually, the people who are coming with you are like super pumped. They're like, yeah, like let's go find some treasure. Like, kind of.
Erebir kind of sits next to Troy and asks, like, "Hey, Troy, did you ask Cross anything? Did you get any information?"
Troy wasn't with us with Cross. I didn't get a question from him.
Okay. I thought we saw him before you mailed the letter.
We did, but I'm not gonna lie to Cross and say that he was with us and deserves something.
Oh, okay. So only like, okay, got it.
Yeah, you gotta be part of the club.
And then Erebir scoots next to Barry. Barry, so Al's saying all the gods are like bailing?
Yeah, maybe want to check in with Saloon, but it does seem like they're taking the first boat out to somewhere not Heresville.
That's so strange. Like, she's telling me basically she doesn't even want me involved with the artifacts. Like,
I think a lot of the gods are frightened
for them or anything.
I think that they're very concerned, and I think some of them, well, I don't think, from what I understand, any gods before the last, what's it called, Blight?
Blight?
Ruin.
Ruin. The last Ruin actually killed almost all the gods. So they're taking this pretty seriously. I can understand why they're afraid.
I'll definitely have to ask Saloon then. Thanks for the info and the heads up.
Of course.
So as you're traveling, Callie is sitting there. She has brought with her in her oversized luggage, which is like mostly clothes, a little board game, like a checkers board, and invites whoever wants to play with her.
Sits down immediately and slams her fist on the checkers board and goes, "Teach me how to play. I don't know how to play this at all. Where do I throw the checkers? Who do I throw them at?"
She says, "Don't tell anyone, but you win if you throw it at the largest person in the room."
I throw one at Barry immediately.
Good job.
I don't feel it.
Do I win?
Yeah.
This game is awful. It has no point. It's very easy to win.
She's like, ooh. I was gonna tell you about hard mode, but I don't think you're ready for that.
Hard. I bet you I'm ready. I'm ready. Please tell me. Please tell me the secret.
She says, whoever can eat most of the pieces wins.
I start eating the
No,
pieces.
don't actually do that. I was totally kidding. I'll teach you how to actually play.
What do you mean?
Spit out, drop it.
Nah.
And she sits down and teaches you how to play checkers. Though you are one piece down because it got lost somewhere
In my mouth.
somewhere in the cabin. She seems to be in particularly high spirits, which is refreshing. So it takes about a full day. You're heading west toward the mountains, and you begin to descend into a valley between these mountains of a kind of like smaller, insignificant range. It's very cold here. It is midwinter. It is snowing around you, and it's especially cold near the mountains. But even so, you can tell by the kind of turn of the wheels as dirt and grass gives way to stone. And as this valley continues to descend farther down, you can see the ground goes farther and farther between these mountains until it reaches a cave mouth, which is flanked with a few buildings made of wood. You're near the end of the caravan, and you feel it come to a halt and look out the window as you see Captain Artaria and her companions enter one of the buildings, and you assume it's kind of like an administrative checkpoint. They don't want to just let any random wanderers go in here, as it's very dangerous, so they kind of have like a lookout here.
That's so nice of them.
Yep. And so then she comes out and kind of gives a signal, and some of the more, I don't want to say leaders, but the kind of like more experienced expedition members who probably have been on several such expeditions come and start lighting lanterns on the sides of the carriages, which strikes you as odd considering they said like don't convoyed down here before. And you guys all enter the Cave of the Mouth as you continue down a steady slope downwards until the light behind you from the cave mouth disappears altogether. And a while later, you can see in the distance 2 or 3 lights from lanterns, and everywhere else it's completely dark. As you're passing through, it's fairly silent except for the turning of the wheels on stone and the clatter of hooves of the animals pulling the carriages, as well as maybe a few drips of water from rivers and streams that are leaking into the cave from the mountains above. The air gets thick and stuffy, and it's getting progressively colder down here. Eventually, you arrive at this ramshackle set of buildings that clearly lack any organization or planning. The best description of this town in a word is slums. The buildings are constructed of kind of that like scrap metal and wood that was probably scavenged from the surface and kind of thrown together. And you see that amongst these buildings there are only 2 or 3 lanterns, and most of them are completely dark. The caravan itself doesn't go into this town, but rather goes around the border of it, and a little further into the cave until you see a kind of encampment bordered by walls of there's like a, I want to say blanket fort, but it's not a blanket fort. There's like pikes of wood with canvas over them, so they're not like solid walls. It's more of like a territory marker. And the caravan stops here, and everyone begins disembarking and unpacking and settling into or moving towards the encampment. Captain Artoria steps out before all of you and speaks up. All right, everyone, settle into a tent with your teams. I mean, you could mix if you want to. I guess I don't care. Just keep yourselves organized, and we'll be gathering at the center of camp in about 30 minutes. Don't wander off. You'll probably die.
How the heck do we keep time down here? I don't understand. Is it a guesstimate?
You don't get an answer. She kind of like twirls her cape around and goes into the camp.
Do we have like a watch? Like,
yeah,
I
you
don't
have
have
like
a watch.
you guys. Someone would have a time telling mechanism in the camp somewhere. Like you can say, "Okay, what time is it?" And pull out a pocket watch. And be like, "Why don't you have one of these yourselves?"
Troy looks down at his
Because it's like
sundial,
300
taps it.
gold for like a nice hand watch.
Sundial.
It is
Nice.
300 gold for a nice watch. Maybe you should.
Guys,
have thought
my
about
sundial's
that
not
before.
working.
All right, so the encampment does have a fair amount of light, so it is dimly lit here at all times. But like I said, the town is overall very dark, and anywhere apart from there is just complete blackness. Another reminder, dark vision, you can only see in black and white. There is no color. And you can see 60 feet ahead, I think, is the standard.
I would like to cautiously look around for bugs and avoid any rats.
Roll survival.
hoovers. I have a bag of crickets. Maybe
14.
not the best time to look for bugs.
There's never a better time to look for bugs than right now.
Are you staying within the bounds of the encampment?
Oh yeah, I'm like just shuffling about, where we are.
All right, so you throw your minimal amounts of luggage into a blanket tent and begin looking around. You sniff out a couple of centipedes.
Aren't they poisonous?
I don't know.
I think
Probably.
I've eaten them before.
Spicy
think all
bugs.
centipedes
Spicy
are.
bugs are just poisonous bugs.
Whatever. You find a couple edible creepy crawlies.
All right, I eat them as I find them, and I store a couple in my bag.
They don't taste particularly good. They taste like the equivalent of really bitter coffee.
Ugh. Reluctantly store them in my bag.
What
Is
do
this the best
good
the Underdark
bugs
has
taste
to
like?
offer?
I don't know.
They
I was just
taste
trying to think
excellent.
of something that is like unpleasant to most people. That's what came to mind.
My crickets are looking pretty good about now.
They
huh,
are
Cooper?
looking pretty good, just like the spider that you have hidden from me somewhere. Where is the spider?
Viren, have you kept that spider alive and with you this whole time?
I have.
That's impressive.
He is a lover of nature.
I don't know how he managed it when he was asleep, but we'll just say for the hell of it.
Airveer helped.
Eric,
All right.
Can I have a couple of those crickets?
You put
Yeah.
the spider on your like nightstand, and then you put Bo on top of it and like sealed it in.
You gave it away! Are you... Ah.
I didn't know that was literally a guess.
I was gonna...
I'm sorry.
Spoiler
that was-
alert! Oh.
Okay, whatever.
Alright, well, don't listen
sorry.
to Poopers.
I'm sorry that I'm just so clever I can see through your tactics.
Okay. Hey, Bo, you're my buddy. You haven't lied to me. You
No,
told me
Poofers
about the
doesn't-
spider. Where is the spider?
Poofers doesn't know that. That was just me joking.
I know,
around.
but I think it's an excellent time to ask Bo.
He says, I can see literally nothing down here. It's real spooky.
Oh, this is gonna be a sad adventure for you, Bo. Oh wait, Barry, hold on. Didn't they say they would give us equipment that would let us see in the dark?
No, I don't think so. I think they said that hopefully you do have some kind of equipment.
Dang, I was gonna say we could give an extra one to Bo, but he also doesn't have eyeballs, so don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
don't
I
have
know
to
if
call
that
me
works.
out like that, man.
It's okay. Some of the best people I know don't have eyeballs.
Like who?
You.
Aw.
Imby only has one.
That's true, Imby. Well, he's got two, but one's kind of weird. It's a little funky.
Yeah, that was something in it.
I
Alright.
know a lot of dead people who no longer have eyeballs. They were pretty cool.
I don't know how to feel about that one, honestly.
I don't know. Feel good. Thanks for
Okay.
the compliment.
Alright. So. If you guys are ready, we'll move on to the assembly again.
Another assembly.
Troy looks at his,
Schools for
his
fools.
sundial and says, "Well, guys, I think it's about time."
Okay. So everyone kind of like huddles together in the middle of the camp, and Captain Artoria appears again and says, "Okay, welcome to KO. Now, understand that the residents of this town are all drow, and they tolerate our presence here not because they like us or because we're special wardens who help everyone, but because it's beneficial to them. In fact, wardens pay to be allowed to settle here without being disturbed, and we have access to the town's very few services, but mostly we just pay to not be attacked. It's a very volatile relationship and not one that should warrant any comfort. There should be very little need for you to enter the town, and it's dangerous to do so, so try and stay within the encampment when you're not out on an expedition. That said, if you desperately need something, you do have access to the town. However, the locals do not use gold as a currency like the rest of us. They use a currency called rayon, which is a small crystallized mineral, red mineral, and she holds up a little like vial, like a glass vial of an assortment of little red crystals. And she says, now this can be found throughout the Underdark. We here at the encampment have a small supply of it if you need to exchange gold for it in order to do business with the town, but it is not an unlimited amount. So it's recommended when you're out on the expedition that you keep a close eye for it, and take one of our pickaxes to extract it should you come across any. Also, when you're exploring, keep in mind that you do have general claim to what you find so long as it's not of specific interest to the wardens. So if you come across, I don't know, some valuables left behind by a previous adventurer who met misfortune during his wanders down here, you can have that so long as it's not of historical or cultural value to us. Please let us know of anything you discover that you think is more than negligible. Cavern assignments will be given out in 10 hours, so get some rest so you're ready for what lays ahead. I will give you some final warnings right before we head out, so go ahead and get used to the environment because it's all you'll know for the foreseeable future.
Wait, how long is this then? How long is this expedition?
Few weeks.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be dark for a long time.
She says, alright, I will tell you that these expeditions and your cavern assignments proceed at your own pace. It will take you several days to fully explore one. Do not overexert yourselves or you will meet an unfortunate end, and we want to keep as many of you alive as possible. Any questions?
Do warden comms work down here?
They do work down here.
Great. Okay, so number 1 goal is to map everything.
Yes, we do believe that there are some interesting discoveries to be made down here. Perhaps something that will lead to more clues about what's coming. Please keep a vigilant eye out, not only for these things, but for any creatures you might come across, because they are sneaky.
I am also sneaky, and I meld into the darkness.
Okay. With that, she doesn't see any other questions and proceeds to her own tent. And you guys have the night to walk around or do what you need to, or you can just go to sleep.
I pop up behind Barry.
Whoa. Yeah.
Where's the spider?
In a safe place.
Spider.
We might need the spider.
For what? For my mouth.
Or spider things.
Look. Okay. The spider's name is Styx, because he has very sticky legs.
No, you can't name them. It makes it way harder for them to eat.
Well, Styx is now our new friend, because a lot of the drow down here...
You named him and made him a friend. How can I eat him now?
I'm glad that you see it that way.
You can't. That's why we have the cricket.
5 crickets. You know how long 5 crickets is going to last me? Like 2 minutes.
Ration.
It's like potato chips. What's about 1 cricket? I need to have 20.
Yeah, exactly. Crickets are a light snack. They're the bottom of the bug food chain, let me tell you.
Are they better than your bitter bugs down here?
Maybe
They arguably do taste better, but are not as filling. So it's a
you know what you
trade-off.
could do is you could kind of mash them together to kind of offset the bitterness,
That's true. Like a bug stew of
or
some
like a
sort.
cricket
Mhm.
seasoning. You know, kind of sprinkle it on a centipede.
Oh, I wonder why they lit all the lights on the wagons when they said no lights. Are there lights in the camp?
Yes.
Interesting. Should have asked that question to the lady when she asked if there were any questions.
We'd probably go knock on her tent, try to kick the flap in. I'm sure she'd be well receptive to that.
Why do I feel like Proofers might have an instant death which does that?
So-
I just want to watch her try to kick the tent. tent
I
flap in.
mean, I am a little bit intimidated by the gnome lady.
Maybe.
Because she's like me, but important and also wears armor.
Do we want to ask the person we signed up with? I forget his
Oh yeah, that guy likes us. Let's go talk to him.
Yeah.
So you wander around.
Clark.
You wander around camp until you find someone with a familiar face, and as you're walking around, a lot of the wardens who are here seem again pretty excited. Some of them are nervous. A few others are kind of like going through their supplies and making sure they're ready. And then you hear whispers of like legends of creatures down here, or like rumors about people in the town. You hear a lot of mentions of the captain and how like great and awesome she is, and like she's scary, don't go near her, she'll kick your ass kind of deal. But she is a well-respected and renowned leader. Until you make your way over kind of to her tent, and outside Clark has like a little desk, and he's sitting there like, state your business.
Hello, Clark, the clerk. I have a question for you.
What do you need?
We were told not to make any lights, and yet there are lights all over this camp and on the wagons. What up with that?
This area has been largely secured for any hostile creatures, so the light's really not a big deal. But once you get into the caverns, any light source will be a significant liability.
Could we use the light to blind
right back.
something that's after us, though?
Many of the creatures here don't actually have functioning eyes. Those that do, there's a chance you could blind them, but it's hard to say. It kind of depends on the creature.
Okay, well, thanks for that very boring information.
He just
Thanks,
like looks at you.
Clark.
The clerk.
That's the first time I heard that one.
And it won't be the last. See you later, clerk.
All right, that is why I named him Clark, though.
He totally
as
does
we're-
coffee.
As we're walking back, Troy kind of keeps an ear out and wants to go talk to somebody who seems like they're more informed about kind of the history of this. What's her name again? The gnome lady?
Artoria.
Artoria. He just wants to find somebody to see if he can get some kind of quick synopsis of who she is and how she's gotten to her status.
So you pick someone who seems to be kind of talking about her. You walk up to a female half-elf and a human man. The half-elf is older than the man, if that matters. And go ahead. They like look at you expectantly as you engage them in conversation.
Hi, my name's Troy, and I've got my companions here with me. This is our first time in the Underdark and our first time seeing Captain Artorias. You guys seem pretty knowledgeable on who she is. You got any background for us?
So when you say it's your first time down here, they kind of like look at each other and like laugh, chuckle, kind of like, oh, newbies. And the half-elf looks at you and she says, new one. Fresh meat, eh? Well, you're in for a real treat down here. Yeah, Captain Artoria, she's kind of like a legend if you're interested into this kind of like Underdark stuff. She was the one to establish the Twilight Gates as well as this encampment. She was one of the first to come down here and make peace with any of the drow that call this place home. And she's seen more expeditions than anyone I know in the Wardens or anyone that I've heard of. Seems like she really found her place down here, and she knows how to survive better than anyone. So if you want to see the light of day again, you better listen to her.
Thanks for that. That sounds like quite a reputation that she's built for herself. Do you know why she first came down here?
Well, no one knows for sure. She doesn't really let people get close to her. She doesn't talk about herself much. She's kind of a hard ass, but for a good reason. You have to be stern in order to get by here and make sure those around you can also get by. But some people say it's because she's compensating or something. She wanted to make a name for herself, kind of like prove herself. But I don't know. That seems kind of shallow for her, if you ask me. She seems more like a she wanted to uncover the mysteries of the world and is doing that in the only way that she knows how.
Well, she definitely has a commanding presence and personality. I'll give her that much. But thanks for the information. Appreciate it.
Just good luck out there. Be careful.
I back out of the conversation.
Whenever you guys are ready to go
Alright.
sleep, you can.
I'm probably just going to conk out.
Okay.
I'm gonna conk.
I'll take my 4 hours
Yeah.
All right.
and just
Same.
meditate the rest.
Be right back real quick.
So, you guys gather with everyone else in the quote-unquote morning, but not morning, for your assignments. And this is the last time I'll monologue, I swear, for now. Captain Artoria addresses you all again and says, all right, when we call your team, please gather with one of our escorts here and they'll take you to your assigned cavern. I will give you some final warnings before you go. Keep an eye out for any valuables, including rare herbs, mushrooms, minerals, and of course, rain. And know that the Underdark is dangerous. There are all sorts of creatures living down here, not just drow. If you feel exhausted or overwhelmed, return to camp immediately and you can proceed at another time. That said, if you clear a path and return there later, there's no guarantee that the caverns you explored will remain clear. further, inhabitants of KO are known to take advantage of cleared paths, so you may be followed in, or they may try and go loot ahead of you after you've returned from your expedition. Know that we are in no rush. Prioritize your safety and that of the others over everything else. If you're in trouble, nobody is coming to save you, so be responsible. Finally, the creatures here have bizarre powers. Just because they're small or funny looking or whatever else does not mean they're not powerful, so don't underestimate them. I will tell you that camping in the unsecured depths is very foolish, and we've lost many overconfident men to that. Even taking a rest, while viable, is in no way is your safety guaranteed. So, with that, let's begin. And she starts calling off the names of the team leaders until Viren is called. And there is an escort waiting for you near the front of the crowd.
Hoovers picks up a pickaxe before we go.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go.
Okay.
Sorry, kid issues.
It's okay.
Real life.
Sorry.
Coming at
I'll
you
leave
hot.
the camera up on just
Cool.
stop video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
All right.
Troy also grabs a pickaxe as well.
I grab 2 pickaxes.
Dual wielding pickaxes. You mine twice as fast. Huh, huh, huh.
I'm
Whoa,
not
okay,
entirely
one upper.
sure. Okay, I'll explain how this exploration is gonna work, but because this quest is combat based, I'm not sure it's wise to. It's balanced for 5 people right now, knowing that Magnus was going to be absent. I'm not sure it's wise to be down another player.
Oh, that's fine. We can end early.
So I'll go over how we're running it, and then next time we'll actually start exploring. Is that fair?
I mean,
Sounds
we're
good.
yeah. I mean, we're like 30 minutes before our usual deadline anyway. So I mean,
Okay.
that's fine.
So the escort, what did I make them? Is a half elf. They make small talk with you throughout the kind of like journey there. It takes about 3 hours to get to your assigned cavern. And
Wait, we have to
Sorry, is
hold
there
on.
a name?
their name. Yeah, I can give them a name.
No, I mean like our assignment or cavern.
Yeah, our
Is
tunnel.
there any?
Yeah, you're so about 3 hours into the caverns, through a series of twists and turns, and they give you a map here to the start of the cavern, so you won't get lost on your way back.
So we have to go back 3 hours to rest safely.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
This is how far they've explored at this point. There is a fork in the road, and a sign that says 31C unexplored to the right. And they turn to you and hand you the map back to camp and say, "All right, this is where we call it. Do you guys have any questions before you go?"
Any rats in this area that you know about?
They're kind of all over. They're staple creature in this.
They
ecosystem.
squeak. Are they easy to hear? They're real loud and
Well,
squeaky.
There are a lot of rats, but are you talking about the more like the were rats, or?
I'm talking about any rats.
Well, there's normal rats, there's dread rats, there's dire rats, there's were rats, which are kind of like rat people or rats.
Oh
but, like, big
no,
ones.
that's the worst. That's
But-
the worst kind of rat I could think of.
Of all the creatures to worry about down here, I think that the rats are the least of your concerns, really.
You might think that.
And by the way, it's been pitch black your entire way here. There's no light out here.
I have no memory of this place.
All right, if you guys don't have any questions, best of luck. Don't die. Peace. And they turn around and walk back.
Come on, poofers. Don't worry. If we see any rats, you can hop up on my shoulder.
This is not a for logistics. This is not a single try quest. You will have to come back multiple days, multiple attempts. the cavern you're assigned is very large and very complex. There's no linear direction, which is why I didn't make like a huge map, because it would take forever to like move your tokens through it. So there are different ways to explore this cavern. You can move quickly and cover a lot of ground and explore a lot of it, but this makes your chances of being ambushed very high, and it lowers your chance of coming across valuable materials. You can move at a standard pace, which has the average attack of ambush and finding materials, or you can move slowly, which has a low chance of ambush and a high chance of finding materials. And note that I said ambush and not enemy encounters, because enemy encounters are equally likely no matter how fast you move. It's whether or not they will have an advantage in attacking you. It will, like I said, it's not going to be a single try to explore all of this. So it's going to be very episodic in how we handle this, and it is combat based. That said, don't think that it's just like completely random and there's nothing to be gained. Like as a kind of metagamey thing, there is a goal, and so just like have faith in progression.
Got it.
Got it.
Okay. The fights, I chose creatures that should be mechanically really interesting. So hopefully this will be fun.
All beholders. Got it.
It's gonna be fun on the next episode.
What level were we when we fought the last beholder?
You were level 5 when you fought a nerfed beholder.
A nerfed beholder.
Yeah, the
Beholders?
fake beholder.
It wasn't a familiar.
It was a familiar. It was a custom stat block. Beholders do originate from the Underdark. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll run into one, but it's a
I'm
possibility.
not saying no.
There's a lot of fun monsters. So yeah,
Sounds good.
Time.
This is a
Yeah.
good place to end anyway. Right before we like go in, so
yeah, we could have gotten like one encounter in, but I don't think that.
TPK. TPK.
I will be honest, I'm not gonna pull my punches in this. So
Good.
yeah, we're
We
gonna have
wouldn't
to
want
run away probably from a couple fights.
Yeah, I think we should keep that in mind. That this is
there's
is
one
going to
more.
be an extent.
There's one more thing. How are you going to keep track of where you've been?
First, we'll do her best to draw a map. I feel like I have decent directional ability.
Okay. Are you gonna
so-
like mark the walls with chalk or anything? Like, oh, we explored this way.
We can't make any
Little-
light.
You can make light. It's
I
they've
should
just
not
advised
make any
against it.
light.
Maybe we use our pickaxes to kind of leave little specific markings on areas we've gone.
You don't have to answer now. Just something to
Yeah,
consider.
I'll think about it. We could use blood,
Breadcrumbs.
smeared blood handprints on the walls.
So you have a lot of. This will be a quest unlike what we've done because the pacing is dependent on you. So yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Persona, for the inspiration.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next Friday.
Bye.
See you then.
Peace.